Good morning.
Morning. So today I'm going to be recapping the Side Evolution Forum, our 2 days of jam-packed, inspiring, actual business insights from the best minds and agents in real estate. And so if you haven't met me before, my name is Alex Wang. I'm the founder of Rainmaker Real Estate and a partner at Side. And today I've got a special guest, Katie Moe, co-founder of Arrive Real Estate Group in Pleasanton, California. Hey, Katie.
Yes. Hey, good morning, Alex. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk about this.
Hey.
My co-founder, Jen Larson, and I launched actually 1 year ago. And our first forum was, Side had a quarterly forum in September of last year. And there were maybe like 500 people who were like, what are we doing? We just kind of sat there and didn't talk to anybody and just observed. And then January was a big forum at the Palace Hotel in San Francisco, and that was pivotal. We sat in this gorgeous ballroom with hundreds of people, maybe 1,000 when you include all the Side employees. And Jen and I just looked at each other and we were like, how did we get here? Like, we could not believe the company that we were sitting in. It was incredible. That was a huge moment. And so we just shared learning, all of it. It just cemented every reason for coming over to Side. And so that we did that forum in person. This was my first virtual forum for sure.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, you guys been able to collaborate and share information. And I mean, going virtually, I thought, I thought it was gonna be a lot harder.
Yeah.
Actually, I still got a ton of information, and we'll download it with each other today. And just kind of, like you said, fire hose, it's hard to figure out what to do next.
Yeah, totally. You kind of walk away from there. You walk away invigorated, but for me, one of the biggest things with being a partner with Side is that everybody that really chooses to join Side and form that partnership and be a business owner is really there. We're all there for the same reasons. The sharing is unbelievable. I was a little nervous going into Evolution, thinking, is this going to feel the same? How is it going to feel? We're not going to be able to hug everybody. And from my perspective, they completely hit it out of the park. There was still so much opportunity to share real time with people. And everyone that came, they all stepped up. I've kind of talked about this with people. When I met Guy, our founder, co-founder and CEO of Side, he just said from the get-go, my job is to make your job easier. I want you to be able to go out there and do what you do best, which is build relationships. And the biggest thing for me that I have found attending these forums is that everybody that walks in the room has that same mindset. They're not just going to an event to network and hand out business cards. Like, everybody is there to build relationship. And that to me is huge. That's such a difference. It's amazing. The value in that is incredible.
Yeah, totally. And so our CEO and co-founder Guy kicked off the meeting, right, with this keynote.
Yeah.
And, what'd you think about that?
I don't know. I'm always so inspired by him because I feel like, one, I love to see how we as a company have grown. I love to see the passion he has for the partners and the associates and the employees at headquarters. I think that he is very honest, and I think he is 100% so genuine. He's present. We see him. Like, he is in there all the time, and his keynote, in my opinion, kind of came through. He was honest about what has happened in 2020, but he also, there was a huge celebration in the message. The fact that many of our partner teams are having their best years ever. The fact that we have all adjusted and evolved, if you will, to what 2020 has thrown at us. And again, his message being the first, I thought was the best, because it just set the tone for why we were all there, and it reaffirmed why we were there. And quite honestly, for me and Jen, the support that Side has given us the last 5 months, the tools, the learning, the opportunities, it was awesome.
Yeah, I think one thing that really came to my mind was when you just said that there's only one thing that is constant, right? And that is the change, right? That's it.
Absolutely.
That's going to be the change, and especially during this 2020, I mean, this is like unprecedented times, right?
Yeah.
He also talked about, I mean, how Psy was founded on just seeing a power shift from brokers to agents,
Yep.
and who are the real true value creators.
Yep.
It's us. It's the
Yeah.
agent, right? And to be able to support us.
Correct. Absolutely. People want to work with us. They don't, they pick us. We connect with them on a personal level, on a professional level, and to be with a company that really, puts all their power and backing behind that proposition is awesome. So yeah, I agree. He definitely talked a lot about that, and I love that.
Yeah, and I'm a big numbers guy. He said that there's a 5.5 million transactions in this country. And we don't need 1.5 million agents, right? Not necessary. We only need the best.
Agreed. Yeah, when he starts like pouting off those numbers about the performance and the average transactions and what we do, that again is when in a regular setting, I'd look around the room and be like, okay, this is quality, not quantity. Like we're all about delivering the highest level of service and just being the best. And I'm honored to be part of that group.
Yeah, I love it. And then Ed, the co-founder, a CTO, took stage, and
totally.
I mean, he totally resonated with me because I mean, both you and I are in the Bay Area, right? We're in Silicon Valley. And it's all about tech, right?
Yeah.
And he talks about how there's all these overhyped words like AI or machine learning or AR or VR, and but his bottom line was don't pay attention to these flashy buzzwords, right?
Yeah.
Build the technology. Technology should be the back office supporting our mundane tasks and allow us to build the relationships, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's totally resonated with me. And I mean, you guys have to check out the actual talk, but he talked about the basic business infrastructure, how an agent can build a sturdy foundation.
Agreed. And I think that, again, if one thing 2020 has taught us, going back to change and evolution, that those back to basics fundamentals those are the things that Ed focused on in terms of technology. Don't worry about all that stuff. I mean, there's constantly people throwing options and ideas. I mean, just this morning, I had an email from some random portal and I'm like, what is this? I mean, people are constantly trying to feed you some new technology, but at the end of the day, it is about building relationships and then having that technology on the back end that we don't have to worry about, but we know is there supporting us. And Ed, all of that was because you get lost in that sometimes. So knowing that we have that support and that just basic, strong, but also super innovative technology was really good to hear.
Yeah. And then after that, we had the next keynote was one of the guys that I fanboy once in a while is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I kind of didn't know what to do with that. It was like, I was a little starstruck on that one. His energy is always so high and positive. It was really cool to hear him speak to us. Really cool.
Yeah. He did mention about his Gary V content model, and I Googled it. So you could Google Gary V content model, and it's like 31 piece of content, like 33 pieces of content in a day from this one piece of content, and just ridiculous amount of stuff that he pushes out. And he talks about how brand always outsells sales.
Yes.
I think that's so key, especially here at Side when Side has supported us to create our brand, right? The Arrive brand or the Rainmaker brand, and be able to how to be able to, that brand is something that is tangible, something that we built and created.
Yeah, for sure. He was so focused on brand. To be totally honest, like I went before he was on the keynote and I tried to listen to some of his other stuff to try to just get a little bit more because I was concerned that he was going to give us so much information that it was, I would be like, oh God, I got to go back and watch this, which is exactly the case. Like I was taking notes the whole time. I'm psyched that we can go back and watch his keynote again because there was so much great content. But I do agree with you that the big message was building that brand and the way he shared through his experience that it is like brand is at the forefront, and that's what you want to do. And that was really solid information to hear from someone else, kind of outside of our industry. It shows that it transcends industries. That when you have a good brand and you have people and the relationship behind it, you can get out on all those platforms. It can be very overwhelming, obviously, but I think that he simplified it and really honed in on what matters, which is your brand. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Social media amplification warfare, right?
Oh my God. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my God. It's just like, oh, where do we start?
And then afterwards, I think we had Brett Jennings, right? His house team. And so I know I was bouncing between sessions. So I didn't get the full thing, but I'm going to definitely watch replay. But you were there, right?
Yeah, that was really good. Brett Jennings to me is shining example of one of the reasons just to be happy that I'm at Side. His sharing, his structure, how he works is incredible. Every single time I watch a video or anything that he speaks, I walk away with nuggets of wisdom. And I felt that, again, he came and he just talked about a strategic business plan. He gave examples, he shared screenshots, and it was one of those things where it's kind of that whole keep it simple, stupid concept. Like, don't overthink it. Like, just really drill down, start big, and then really make it everything actionable. I mean, he just, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. It just made it feel very attainable and not, as we go into the fourth quarter, at this point, everything we do now is really building for 2021. So I thought his message was super on point. And I loved, again, that afterwards he's like, oh yeah, I'll just share this with you. I'll send this out. I'll share this content. Everything just to help everybody be stronger, be better, think strategically. He talked a lot about, which I loved, appreciated at Arrive. We're in growth mode. We're growing our team. He just talked about the different ways you can look at your business plan as a brokerage versus as a team lead. I had lots of notes of like, oh God, I want to reach out to him and ask him more specific questions about that. So that was really cool. It was a great session. It really got my mind really open and awake for the rest of the sessions.
Yeah, it reminded me of I moderated a session with several agents from San Francisco and locally in the Bay Area. They were talking about cooperation is creed. There's Ron, Apta, Cynthia Cummings, and Zaid Hanna. And they were sharing about how just kind of giver's gain, right? I mean, just like not having to feel like you have scarcity and you don't want to share some information because you're afraid you can be giving to your competitor or something like that. But more so looking at it from a perspective of abundance. And then, hey, give them, to the point that Ron actually would even give out information of, if it's multiple offers, he'd actually give out all the information of the other offers that didn't get it. He'd share that with someone else so that they may be able to use that for their next listing. And
I wish, first of all, I'm sorry I missed that because I'm happy that I can go back and watch it. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I think that more people need to watch that and understand how it makes us all better and how it makes us all, stronger in serving our clients. I think that operating from a place of abundance is something that not a lot of people do, and it is refreshing to hear someone like Ron Apta share that he does that. I mean, all it does is it helps all of us serve our clients better and be more informed, especially in the market that we're in right now. I definitely will need to log back in and watch that session.
I mean, there's so much stuff. so going back to keynotes. So day 2 keynotes. Any thoughts there? We had some pretty powerful people on that day 2 keynotes as well.
That was really exciting. Jay kicked it off. Was it Susan? Who was it? I'm sorry.
Susan. Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. From Zillow. And that was super exciting. I feel like they shared a lot about this flex program that everybody's kind of talking about. It's definitely kind of become a buzzword when you hear about Zillow. So that was super exciting. I loved hearing about this kind of mindset that Zillow looks like they're exploring, about really working with the best of the best, high customer satisfaction. And that was really fun to learn about.
Yep. By the way, Alice Pack says hello to us.
Hi, Alice. Thanks for chiming in. Cheers with my coffee.
So I mean, yeah, that Flex program, I was super interested in that because that, I mean, to me at least, from a personal standpoint, I don't actually have advertised with Zillow because of certain reasons, but now that they've turned the model around, it's super interesting. I'm definitely interested in learning more.
Well, so I mean, I personally, I have just recently started working with Zillow, and I feel that I'm super excited about this because the connections that I've been able to make on Zillow so far have been really awesome. And what I have found is that a very high percentage of people that are contacting someone through Zillow, they're looking for a relationship. They're looking for someone. They truly are looking for help, and they're truly looking for information. And so I'm actually really excited about it because I think that it is shifting that focus to, like, Zillow is going to expect more from their agents that they partner with because they want to give that relationship. They want, I think it's awesome. I'm really excited to see it unfold. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, Alice mentioned that one of her favorites was she really liked the Jason Mandani, Michael Silva, and Mei Ling. Those are three powerhouse agents in three complete different markets, and how they're making 2021 their best years ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so and then afterwards, I mean, one resonated with me also. The next keynote was with Kofi and Matt Luke, Kofi Nati and Matt Luke, both not only Cal alumni, go Bears,
I know.
Also, I mean, ex-professional athletes, and
Yes.
how do they apply being an ex-professional athlete to real estate?
Yeah, that was pretty cool to listen to people who have both played at, the highest level of their sport. To transition that to real estate was pretty awesome. I just finished reading the book, The Inner Game of Tennis, which talks about, I don't know if you've read that book. Yeah, right. So I just thought it was really interesting and listening to them talk about how, in order to obviously to be at that level of anything, but especially professional sports, I mean, you have to have that mindset. You have to have that habit forming behavior. And so I thought it was really awesome how they shared. I also played team sports growing up as a kid, and I think there's so many correlations. And I loved how they talked about how they translated that into the world of real estate and how they build their business and how they look at their clients and their teammates. And that was really special to have that.
That's a great book. If anyone hasn't read Inner Game of Tennis, awesome.
Yes, very good. Easy read. It's like, I literally just listened to it on Audible. It's like 4.5 hours long. It's really, really good. Really good.
So you were part of a session regarding, this was called the most successful agents, how they're dominating the online game.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So that was really, it was like online, lead generation. We had Rama Mira from Asante, Anthony from Amalfi Estates, Mike. That was really cool because I loved that session. It was interesting to me, kind of going back to, I joined Zillow this year because without having open houses, I felt that it was important to hone my kind of online lead gen. And they both have, all three of them have had lots of success. Again, back to basics, like it just is answer your phone, be personable, give information. And Anthony was very strategic in their approach. He talked about how they actually are beta piloting with the Flex program down in Southern California. And he has created a systematic approach to it in terms of how to qualify leads, how to get the appointment. And I think he shared that they were number 4 in the Los Angeles market.
Wow.
But now they're number 1 on Zillow Flex. They have just like amplified. It's so, again, going back to the idea of abundance and being at this forum and being with these people. I mean, Anthony's already talking, we're already in talks with him up here in the East Bay about trying to get him to do a training with all of our East Bay partners on how he has developed this system for his team. And it's just to be able to tap into that is pretty awesome. So, and the chat was lively. I mean, that's the other thing. We haven't really touched upon this with the forum. We had these sessions which were so full of information. And then there was this online chat down below where you could ask questions or just give people shout outs. And I was not expecting that. It was really fun. That was like real time Q&A, but lots of comments going back and forth, lots of connections being made in the online chat. I loved that.
Yeah, I thought it was just being silence. No one's talking at all, but no, that was like just consistently booming.
Oh, nonstop. Yeah. It was just great. It almost felt like the peanut gallery, but really good questions. And to me, it was really fun because I just felt like I was able to talk to people that maybe I wouldn't have been able to talk to, when you're in a session and someone is sitting 5 tables over and you're like, oh, hi, from across the room, like you could actually interact. That was to me, a huge bonus of the virtual forum. I felt that it enabled us to interact with a lot of people that we may have missed in passing or because we were at a different table. So I loved that about the forum.
Yeah. Amy Hyde mentions that she loved the CRM best practices with Ashley Bledsoe.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I wanted to get on that.
Yeah, I'm huge about CRM, but it's always been tough for me to do it. But I just recently switched over finally to Copper.
Yes.
And I'd have to say, in the beginning, I was like one of those, like, I'm not going to change. I'm just going to not do anything. I'm just going to stay the way I am doing. My spreadsheet is fine, but it's been so much more powerful to my business.
Amy's my business manager. So hi, Amy. And she can attest to our resistance to Copper. And I am like you, Alex. I am now on it. I love it. It's amazing. To watch it work, it's really fantastic. So I should go back and that's on my list of replays. I think the only reason I couldn't go to that one was because it may have overlapped with either my own session or just another one, but I'm definitely going to log back in to the website and watch that session. I can always get a Copper refresher.
Oh yeah, I sat down with Ashley Bledsoe a couple of weeks ago. We talked the one-on-one about just marketing, growth marketing, and how CRM is a huge part of that. And so
yeah,
it's like almost one of those foundational parts of your business.
Did you guys record that session?
We did. The long form version is coming soon, but yeah, we did.
Good. Okay, good, because I want to watch that one too. Ashley is a gem. Thank you, Ashley, for everything that you do. Seriously, thank you, Ashley.
Awesome. And then Kelly Griggs and Kevin Cruz talked about advising clients on innovative trade and trade out strategies.
Yes.
And valuable. And then Neil Solari and Michelle Apana-Horn and Angelica Galeana and Bethia Benson talked about valuable tools and recommendations for your team's operational efficiency and growth. Did you see any of those?
I did not. I think I may have hopped in on Kelly's. I can't remember. I know I was on a session with her, and it wasn't about trading in. She's again another one where it's like her energy is off the hook, and every time I talk to her, I'm just like, what don't you do? Like, really, what don't you do? Or what haven't you done? Like, organic farmer, amazing realtor, amazing business owner. She's incredible. So I'll have to go back and watch that one.
I thought when you said organic farmer, I thought you meant like they're farming a neighborhood.
Oh, no, her heirloom tomatoes. She probably does farm a neighborhood organically too, but her heirloom tomatoes are like amazing. She's incredible. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, Kelly's great. I had a chance to moderate a panel with Taylor Hurst on her team.
Yes,
Samantha
yes.
Bob that was mentoring uh, Hannah Nguyen, and they talked. The mentees were on the panel, and they were
Awesome.
talking about how they met Kelly and Samantha,
Uh-huh.
and how that kind of organic kind of relationship came about.
Yeah. What did they say? I was not able to be there. Like, what's like one nugget in terms of the connection or how that relationship like elevated them to a different level? I'd love to know.
One thing that was funny with both of them is that neither of the mentors were hiring at the time, and so they weren't even actually looking for a mentee. But through a transaction or through social media, they were able to get connected to the person, and then being slow to hire, taking their time, not just jumping in. Hey, let's jump, shotgun wedding kind of thing. No, they took their time to find out who they were, and the mentees were moldable. They're willing to take the ball and run with it, right? Some people tell them what to do, and they just kind of like they're not willing to take action.
That's the good one. I think again, when we think about why we're in this business, like we love to help people in terms of our clients, but I also think most of the agents that I have met have that quality of wanting to teach and wanting to help people grow personally and professionally. So that would be a good one to watch, just in case my mentee walks in the door someday.
And then the other Katie that we with that always drops a bunch of knowledge is Katie Lance.
Yes,
Queen of
yes,
social media.
absolutely. I mean, nonstop, incredible, relevant, personable, all of it, all the above. She is great. I think that what I love about her that she always says, no matter what social media presentation I'm watching, is like it's not going to be perfect. Like, just put it out there, put yourself out there. It's never going to be perfect. So you just have to do it. Doing something is better than doing nothing.
Totally. She said that she said one thing to me, if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? And so, I mean, it's not easy, but giving us the framework to do it, particularly on social media, queen of social media, she's so awesome.
Seriously, if you don't follow her, please do, because she's always sharing really great tips and tricks, and they are always relevant to what is going on right now in the world, in the market. So she's a really, really phenomenal asset to our industry.
Next session was Dre Koval. Dre actually worked on my Rainmaker brand when I was going through launch.
Awesome.
And she interviewed Michael Slate, David Oliphant, and Kevin Gueco about building an authentic brand in time of crisis.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there for all of it. Those guys, I will tell you that I feel like all three of those brands, Ocean Blue, Elevate in Palm Springs, and obviously Kanoko, I admired those brands probably from afar. And before I ever really connected with any of those gentlemen, and they all are just do an amazing job of putting a brand out there. And I think what I loved is they are all unique and specific to who they are, but also to where they serve. And I think that is one thing that I really admire, their consistency, and what they put out there really serves the community that they live in and that they work in. And it was really cool to listen to their stories.
Yeah. How was it with your process of building your brand?
It was fun. we loved it. Jen and I both live and are raising our families in our communities, and so we really wanted something that that kind of spoke to the process of what it means to go through buying or selling a home. And so when we worked with the side team, our launch manager was amazing and patient, and we went through so many different iterations. And once we finally hit on arrive, it made sense. And when the brand team came to us with our logo, there was thought behind it. They had intention, they listened to everything that we said. And when they presented our logo options, it was like a no-brainer. It was really cool. I loved watching it come to life. I loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's like, well, I don't know, have experience, but it's like giving birth to something.
Oh my, and I was so nervous. Like when we launched, right? You're like, oh, is everyone gonna like it? Oh my God. Well, what about Rainmaker? I love that terminology. I love the idea behind it. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually was a little bit different because I actually already had a brand before because I had a 2007, I founded Rainmaker Properties.
Okay.
And so I already had, they said the biggest struggle with the partners have is figuring out what the name is.
Yes.
Right? I already had a name, so I kind of jumped over that, figuring out the name and going straight to brand. And but it was great because Corey and the design team and Dre, I mean, they said, hey, Rainmaker Properties is a little bit antiquated, right? Why don't you change it to Rainmaker Real Estate? And just that change of the Rainmaker Real Estate, I was like, oh my gosh, this is, and if you see side by side, it's completely night and day.
Totally.
Super happy with the turnout.
Good. Yeah, no, I love it. I think one of my most honestly favorite posts is when the team posts new partners that are launching. Every time I'm like, God, what other name can they come up with? And then every time you see new brands launching, you're like, oh yes, that's a great name. Or, oh, I love that one. Or, oh, I love that logo. They're constantly knocking it out of the park with the ways that they're representing the partners. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. Design is such an important aspect, and no more logos with little house and roofs with little chimney on top, right?
Yes, no, or exactly. No, I love it. I think it's really personable, and just represents everybody for who they are. It's really cool.
I was able to pop into the recruiting masters session. Obviously, I moderated Taylor and Hannah when they're talking about how Samantha and Kelly Griggs mentored them.
Yep.
David Cohen, Nicole Solari, Samantha Tov, and then I think Casey was moderating it.
Yeah.
And really, really impactful for me. I'm in the process of growth, just like you, in terms of growing the team. And I had a couple takeaways for me. One is they look for people when they're recruiting that are hungry and want to grow their own business, right? And then Samantha mentioned about how understanding the person's why.
Yeah.
Why is it they want to be a real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
What was great is Nicole gave us three interview questions. Did you hear
Yes, I was just thinking about this. I wrote those down.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna have to go on to check out the 3 interview questions, but the one that I thought was really interesting was just saying, she just said, teach me something.
Yes, right? I love that.
And so like the recruit's gonna have to just teach them something. How does they communicate that? How do they teach someone something?
How do you explain something? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times do we have to explain the contract and what all this means? No, and then I think it was again, back to the live chat, one of her teammates was like, I think that's the day I taught you how to juggle. I mean, can you imagine being in an interview? You're like, oh, hold on, let me get my juggling balls out of the bag. I mean, it was like...
Hired on the spot.
That was amazing. I'd have been like, done, sign here.
And do you use disc profiles?
We do, and I love that she brought that up. That is something we did in our process when our team was forming. We had all of us do a disc assessment, and we have all of them. And it was really interesting to see where everybody kind of lies. I think there's a lot of similarities, but we also have complementary strengths.
Yeah.
So I think using the disc assessment is very, if you have time or if you want to do it. I know there's lots of personality, options out there, but I think the disc is really relevant in our industry, and I'm glad she brought that up.
Yeah, totally. I right away I started putting that setting those test assessments to my team too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you were part of a panel, right?
I was in some amazing company. I'm not gonna lie. Hillary Saunders, one of the co-founders of Side, chief broker officer, new mom to twins. She has 3 kids like me. I have twins plus 1. Same with her. She moderated, and then Jen Larson, my co-founder, was there. Susan Fixon, from Pacific Oak, Michelle Kim, and it was just all about being female leaders and kind of what makes it, different. What can we learn? We did have some discussion about what female leaders we've seen in, in the global pandemic, how different leaders have responded to things. And a lot of it just came back to adaptability. Michelle Kim had a phenomenal analogy where she was just talking about how, as women, if you choose to start a family and have a baby, like your body changes and you have to be okay with change. And we're kind of forced to. And so in many respects, having that adaptability physically makes us understand change and be okay with change. Because if you do, again, have a family, you are forced to watch your body morph. So it was really good. We talked about a lot of different things. It was fun. It was a real, like I said, just phenomenal group of women. Really good.
And you talked about sheltering in place and juggling a few things.
Yeah, we all have a lot of coffee in the morning. School, it's we all are in. Susan, it was interesting. Susan has grown children, so I think of us, she doesn't have kids at home that she's helping with online schooling. But we all are kind of joked about, we all go hide in our room and lock the door so that we can get calls done. And usually it's about, 30 to 37 minutes before someone comes knocking on the door needing you. So again, just being flexible and kind of trying to find the humor in things. One of the things I have to say that I love that Susan talked about, again, from a different perspective, is she has a large team, I think the largest of all of us that were on there. And it was really awesome to hear her share her process of how she has supported her team in this and gone through just really a personal approach. Mm-hmm. So that was something that I loved that she shared with us about how she, as a leader, kind of approached this feeling that we all have felt the last 6 months.
Yeah, totally. Quick shout out to Brian and Mark and Oliver and Claire and Alice and Hilton and Julie, Anissa. Thank you guys for being us. And there's so many agent boss women at Side.
It's incredible. Like, I just listened in on another conference that CER put on, and one of the keynotes was about saying yes. And who's on the panel? Nicole Solari and Hillary Saunders. And it was like, my little avatar was like clapping nonstop. Just to be with so many, I think I saw Liani, and so many amazing women, from headquarters to partner side, associate side. It's very inspiring to see so many strong women in leadership in many different ways at Side.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, so switching gears a little bit, there was a Meet the Speakers.
Yes.
And I think this is we equate this to maybe a mixed martial arts fight.
Yeah.
It was Rob Hahn, one of our keynote speakers, and our one and only Guy Gal.
Yes.
Having a discussion about whether teams should have W-2 employees versus 1099 contractors.
Yeah, so going back, just so everyone knows, we had these breakout sessions, and there would be like 3 breakout sessions. And then after the breakout session, they had a 30-minute live Meet the Speakers. And so you'd hop on Zoom, and there'd be a collection of speakers from all the previous sessions. And to me, again, this was like the secret sauce of the forum, because this is really where Side did an incredible job of layering live interaction and sharing collaboration. And as you said, Rob and Guy were in there, and it was just, the funny part is I literally, like, it was 30 minutes where I was like, oh, I'm going to go grab some lunch because I need to go get a break. I'm 5 minutes in and my phone is blowing up, and Jen Larson, my co-founder, is like, "Oh my God, you have to go to the live Q&A with Guy and Rob." And I was like, "What?" And I got in there, and it was the most respectful but honest discussion, as you said, about these two different philosophies about W-2 versus 1099. I loved it. I just sat there and watched, and I learned, and it was awesome. I have to go back and watch that again. It was really good.
I think nowadays, I mean, having regular discourse or conversations with people and not having to go, super polarizing to one end or the other, and not being, not being have a conversation has been hard sometimes currently in the current environment.
It was a perfect example of that. Perfect example.
Yeah, let's just talk it out. You guys can not agree. Let's just hash it out, talk it out.
It was just cool. There's so many different perspectives. And then again, other people were asking questions, and people were putting questions in the chat because they didn't want to interrupt the conversation. But just so many different perspectives brought to the table based on experience, based on, assumptions. And everybody, at the end of the day, were like, this is awesome. Like, it was a really phenomenal, it was a great discussion. I loved it.
Yeah. And one thing, Brian says that he also enjoyed the Q&A with Rob and Guy. Yes, a lot of us did.
Yeah.
You guys missed it out. Definitely go back and check it out, because that was
Yes.
one of the highlights of the forum for sure.
Absolutely.
I think also one keynote was clearly up. Peters and Patricia and Nakash were talking about the prop tech evolution, right? Coming from a investor standpoint. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of a geek like that, and like looking into like an adventure and kind of startups and kind of where the whole industry is going. And I thought from a higher level, they talked about how historically a lot of companies were not looking into investing in asset heavy companies. But then in 2008, that changed, and people started raising a lot of capital into asset heavy companies. And then of course COVID hit, and what happens? All these companies it's hard to offload their assets.
Yeah.
And they said that side is an asset light model. So not only for investors, but also for agents as well. We just plug and play, right? We just we're not carrying all these heavy assets.
Yes.
That we're just basically having sides focusing on turbocharging our business.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool example of kind of where the direction is going.
Yep.
And so I really enjoyed that part of.
Yeah, that was a good one. And I think that, again, having these two women up there speak at a really strategic level and sharing a lot of experience was really, it was just awesome and affirming. And I felt exactly that. Like, when you look at what's happened in this year, they're really, and it's exemplified by, the numbers that Guy shared at the very beginning. Like, there really has not been a major speed bump. Like, the asset light model has allowed all of us to just keep doing what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And just, I don't want to say cruise control, but there's a lot of things that we've got these systems in place, and none of what happened in our world, hopefully, has really disrupted that. We've really been able to stay the course. And I think that is true.
Yeah, they gave so much insight on how we can pivot during COVID, and I think that we've kind of gone along with that, right?
Agreed.
Yeah, so that's so much stuff. Obviously, we only touched the tip of the iceberg.
I know. It's just a lot. It was really, again, I felt super invigorated afterwards. Usually when I attend these sessions or any sort of learning or shared learning, I walk away just being like, oh my God, you want to implement so many things. And I think that for me with this, I was a little, like I said, nervous about it. Was my first virtual forum or conference that I have attended. And I walked away fired up, super excited. I felt laser focused, if you will, because again, it wasn't like so much was being thrown at us. All the content was super relevant, and it was applicable to what was going on in our business. And so it didn't feel as overwhelming. I felt I have a really nice 5-point list of who I want to talk to and what I want more information about from the agents and the partners that shared. And what I love is that I know when I call them, they're going to answer the phone and they're going to talk to me. And last time that happened, it's so funny, back to copper, I have to share just a quick story. When we were trying to accept it or adopt it, I texted Guy. I mean, this is the CEO of our company. I text Guy and I said, hey, who's got best practices in copper? Like, what partner team should I talk to? Because I need to learn more about this. And he immediately pointed me to Anthony at Amalfi Estates. So I email Anthony, hey, who can I talk to at Amalfi that can give me some best practice, best usage? He literally calls me and says, do you want to just hop on a Zoom? I've got about 30 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So we hop on a Zoom. He shares his screen, shows me how he uses it, his favorite things. Where else does that happen? Like, honestly, where else does that happen? So that moment was, I mean, I like called Guy and I was like, okay, this little world that you've created is truly phenomenal. And I can't thank you enough for bringing in partners that all come from a place of abundance. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Collaboration, I have to say, I mean, being the newer partner, the collaboration between the partners is just really amazing.
Did you, back to one of the other components of Forum, at the end of day one, remember they had the happy hour, the kind of geographical happy hours? How was yours?
It was great. I actually popped into the Peninsula Bay Area happy hour, and then I actually headed up and jumped into the San Francisco happy hour.
Nice.
And yeah, it was fun. It was just 100 people talking about, oh, did you see that Rob and Guy? And it was just hanging out, talking. It was really fun. I had maybe about, I'd say 10 to 15 people on there.
Yeah.
Did you go to the East Bay one?
Oh yeah, I did. That was Wendy Davis was kind of the moderator, and then we had Aaron Brown from Perspective and Gina Piper from Elation, kind of the co-hosts. And yeah, it was really fun. We lots of laughter, lots of kind of, real estate light conversation, and then we actually got into a really great conversation about buyer broker agreements, and what has happened kind of as buyers want to see property and they need us to see a house. And so some people have really shared their process to make sure that you've got buyers that are not wasting your time or agents that are not doing their job. It was really good. It was just a great, it was a super fun, engaging conversation. Really good.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch to the whole being remote, being virtual.
Absolutely. Again, like being able to connect with people in another way. I mean, I do agree. My favorite part, and I said this to my husband, was that there were lots of people that I got to chat with online that I may not have been able to walk over to at the forum and talk with. So there was in a virtual world, there was actually a higher level of personal connection, if you will, for me in some ways. And I think that the happy hour was one of those ways. The live Q&A was definitely one of those ways. I just feel like I got to know people that I had otherwise not been able to get to know. And huge kudos to everybody that attended, because everybody showed up with the same mindset, willing to share and build a relationship with each other.
Totally. And I think, and huge kudos to the side team for just for such a great event. I mean, we ended up wrapped it all with a nice little virtual dinner at the end.
Yes, that was fun. That was fun.
That was fun. All right. Well, Katie, thanks so much for hanging out with me.
Yeah.
I want to let the viewers know that if the on-demand replay is available, so if you guys missed anything or want to see anything, all you do is log on to sideevolution.com, and you have the on-demand replays. And go ahead and register, and you can check it all out. Follow us on Facebook, message us.
Yeah.
And ultimately, our new collective mantra is to succeed, you must evolve.
Yes. Thank you for having me, Alex. I agree with everything. Check it out. Reach out to us, you guys, if you have any questions. You can also go to sideinc.com. But the Evolution Forum is worth checking out. There are so many nuggets of gold in there, so definitely check it out.
Great. Thanks, Katie, for your
Thanks,
time.
Alex. Take care.
Have a great day.
You too.